YouTubers. You're looking at a 1995 Dodge Ram 1500. Today we're going to talk about a 2-inch drop spindle kit. The kit that I have fits 95 through 98, I believe. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to bring up the brand name, so I'm not. But I'm sure you'll figure it out, because there's only one company that makes a spindle for this truck. Now, this kit's pretty complicated, but the reason I purchased it was because it's going to give you the factory rod, or they say it's supposed to give you the factory rod from that you had before. So the geometry, I guess, won't change. You'll be able to use the same shocks that you have. You won't have to go with a shorter shock. I could have went with a cut spring, much easier, in and out, done it, over and done with. But then you buy a shorter shock and have to install the shorter shock would give you a very hard rod. So one of the first things I'm going to bring up is that when I was removing the lower control arm down here, they want you to take a measurement. After you take the spring out, they want you to measure to the fender or to the frame for reference. That's all it says. Could not figure out why they want to do that. Once this thing's put back together, it only goes back one way. The weight will transfer and balance out. Now, you definitely need a front end alignment when you're done. But I guess I'll figure out what happens if I couldn't get the measurement on it, because I had to push the lower control arm, smash it down to the ground to get the spring out. So I'm gonna leave that part alone, but hopefully that works out. So I'm gonna move on to the next part, which is the ball joint with the control arm. So what they give you the kit is a ball joint and a reinforcement plate. So there's your ball joint. Now, first thing they tell you to install is the ball joint, of course. And on the Dodge Ram, the ball joint faces down this way. So the spindle's on the bottom side of the lower control arm. So in the kit, they tell you to flip it around completely this way, facing up on the top. So you install it from the bottom, of course, and then from that point, they want you to do some welding. Now here's where it gets a little complicated. The instructions on this thing is very vague. You have to read it quite a few times to figure it out. But this kit requires the reinforcement plate that comes with it. It's already pre-cut, which was pretty good. I found that was pretty helpful. Thank goodness they had it trimmed out, because I don't know what I would have done from that point. But it fits right in here, inside the control arm, leaves you the hole for your stabilizer bar, and also for your ball joint. So what I did was place it into the control arm, welded both sides, in the front, all the way around. And then they tell you to tack weld the ball joint. Now, I tack welded on the top. Figure I get a little bit better job. There it is on the bottom, on the other side. So I have 2 tack welds on there to hold the ball joint in. I figure that's all I need. That's all they tell you to do on instructions, because I guess it's pressed in already. So hopefully that'll work out. The next thing they tell you to do is notch the control arm for clearance. I guess it's if you depend on the backspace and the wheel or rim you go with what size. The wheel or tire will clear the lower control arm. So what I did was trim the front, like I seen on the picture. It wasn't very good pictures, but I looked at it quite a few times and figured out you had to notch it all the way to where this plate comes across. And then this side, you pretty much have to stop before the end of the plate, because the hole for your shock mount. So I wanted to make sure I had enough clearance for my shock. Now on the spindle, this is the Spindle 2-inch drop spindle. Not much to it. Looks just like the factory pretty much, but well, no, it doesn't. It looks pretty completely different. But one thing I had to figure out was, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but I did find a number on the back that shows you the has an R on it, which is right passenger. So kind of makes it a little helpful to have that. And there you have it. 2-inch drop spindle kit. Thanks for watching.